So there's a viral thread of a woman talking about or showing all these things that she's doing in her life as she's investing in herself and decentering relationships. And I cannot recommend this enough. So I was like officially single in 2021, and for the first time in my entire 40 years of life. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go do things and just like really see what I'm interested in. I'd always been a big volunteer person. I'd always been a big go to events, go to fundraisers, dress up and go out, have a lot of people around. But this was really the first time I was like, no, like, let me actually see what I like. That way, when I meet someone, I can be like, this is what I like to do, and this is what we're going to do as a couple. Okay. So, one of the things I did is the Airport Citizens Academy, and most airports are going to have this. And so it was like several weeks, and you go to the airport and they have great food and you see different departments in the airport. So we went behind like where the baggage area was, where they sort the baggage, and they teach you all kinds of things. But like this opportunity led to another like really cool opportunity. Because I did this, I had a chance to do this. All right, everyone, me and Nikki are out here at our crash site. Oh. We only have 2 pieces of candy left already. We hadn't even started. We got some smoke behind us, and we also wish we had bug spray.
Yes.
Stadium seats.
Yes.
More water.
Suntan lotion.
Suntan or sunscreen.
And a canopy while we're at it.
But I have a headache and she's got a backache. According to our injuries. Those are the injuries. I got a headache. She's got a backache. But we survived. We survived whatever happened here. And here comes the plane.
We are in the field with fire ants.
Oh, yeah. Fire ants are the biggest risk, they told us. Is that a plane coming?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, get in there. Get in there. It was a small one. Okay, so that was a triannual exercise every airport is required to do. And we were volunteering as like crash victims. And so we were assigned the lamest injuries. But there were other people there who had severe injuries and died. And they even had makeup artists who were like putting injuries and burns and all kinds, like Hollywood makeup artists that were doing this. And so not only was it an incredible experience, and I got to spend it with my friend who I met in a Citizens Academy, and we still do events together and fundraisers and are super close from all of that a couple years ago. So I made a great friend, aligned with me, aligned with my energy. But also like I learned a lot. So the first thing is like the loudest people get medical attention first. So when the firefighters and the EMS all showed up to the scene, we were screaming. We were like, and then they came up to us and they're like, why are you screaming so loudly? You're the least injured. I was like, well, we didn't know what to do. We wanted your attention. The other thing is that we learned as you saw that fire is like, if there is a crash, get away from the fuselage, like totally get as far away as possible from the fuselage. Another thing that really took me by surprise that I learned in that fake exercise is like as the firefighters and EMS were moving us from where we were to the staging site, the safe location, we like were seeing the staged people and debris, and it was like traumatizing. It was like really mental. So I can only imagine if it were real, like how that would have affected a survivor. Because that part was like really like a mind game. But I share this because this is me on the runway of the airport at the Firefighters Citizen Academy in the airport fire truck. So they're driving us on the runway. That was like another thing I did in this time. There's so many things. Let me show you something else. Okay, so every Saturday I go to the local farmer's market. I get a coffee and Danish, and I sit there, listen to music, and just hang out for several hours. I started doing that on my own. And as a result of that, I got on their newsletter mailing list. And then as a result of that, I freaking volunteered to paint the street. So they needed volunteers to come paint agriculture on the street to represent the farmers market, which is across the street. But I get to drive by that every Saturday and see corn that I painted as part of a community mural. And again, this came just from me exploring and going to do things like that I'm interested in. Here's something else. I joined an improv comedy team. So I decided to take improv classes, and it was super affordable too. I think it was like $250 for 6 weeks, right? And so I would go every week. I took classes. I did level 2. They let me skip level 1 because I had a little bit of experience on stage and on television. So I skipped level 1. I did level 2. These are some of my castmates. I did 3, 4, and then got on a team to actually have shows. These are people who are great friends in my life, and there are so many more that I built a community with. And it just filled my heart so much because these folks are theater kids and I'm a theater kid, and I'm a little weird and creative and witty and dark humored, and like I was able to meet people that were aligned with me. But not only that, through improv comedy, I overcame so many fears. And then I signed up for additional workshops that were like Meisner improv comedy classes, and Meisner technique was something phenomenal that really unlocked a lot in me for confidence. And improv helped me see that we are all so unique and valuable, and those unique things that we bring to the table are just magic. And I didn't do the shows for very long because I didn't feel like it was aligned with really what I wanted to do. But I still go to improv shows. I still support the community. I'm still connected to all the people in the community. And I'm actually taking a workshop tomorrow just to kind of like do something different. I cannot stress enough how amazing it is to decenter relationships. Look at yourself, do things that you are curious about and are weird, and do them alone. Like, go alone, be brave, make new friends, and keep what is aligned with you and let go of what is not aligned with you. And it changes your life. And now that I have a person in my life, they are more aligned with the authentic me because I actually took the time to find me. And forever people would say, oh, you just need to be alone. You need to be alone. You need to be alone. And I really thought that was like the lamest advice. I cannot recommend it enough. But when you are alone and truly alone, not like the fake alone, when you are truly alone, you have to investigate what makes you happy, what is aligned with you, what is your vibration, what fills your cup, what brings you joy. Go through the fears. In this time, I also quit drinking and was going out to bars and restaurants alone while also exploring being alcohol free. Now, luckily, we've come a long way as a society of providing non-alcoholic drinks at bars. But that was also a challenge. But I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to see if I could do it, and if I could walk through the fog of the fear of being in public alone and being sober and like feeling that. And I made friends with so many strangers. I met a lot of great people. I met a lot of not so great people. I made friends with a lot of bartenders. So I could go to a bar and still feel safe because the bartender knew me and, knew that I needed, like, if I was like this, they were like, okay, we're going to get rid of that person. So I can't recommend it enough. Some of the hobbies I've kept, some of them I've moved on from, but I am also still exploring new things, new adventures, despite being in a relationship. And that is the win. This video was in my drafts and I was just reviewing it, and I have an edit to make. I am now single again, and it's pretty awesome that being single, I have a life to pick up. I have a life to go back to. I have friends, interests, hobbies, communities that I never let dissipate in that relationship. And now that I'm trying to grapple with the loss of the relationship, I have something. And I've never had that before in my entire life because I never invested in me before.